Hi, so I'm really excited about this period because we have now received copies of our new books, that is Financial Reporting and Corporate Reporting Volume 1 and Volume 2 for the ICAG, ACCA, and Professional Qualification program in order to assist students to be able to prepare well for the examination. Now, if you're a follower of my work, you will know that I've been teaching financial reporting and corporate reporting since 2013 in the ICAG and the ACCA professional qualification program, with currently ACCA becoming strategic business reporting, that is their corporate reporting paper. And then recently corporate reporting also in the Institute of Chartered Accountants England and Wales professional qualification program. Now, over the years, what I've learned is that I have really matured and increased my level of understanding due to the privilege I have of teaching across these professional qualification programs, having students across the world doing these courses, and it has increased my understanding on the topics coverage and the various things that relates to the way we are supposed to present, teach, and also understand the topics in the syllabus relating to financial reporting and also corporate reporting. It is for this reason why it was important for me to, after these years, put together my thoughts and bring out a notebook on these two subjects. Now, I have already published a book on corporate reporting previously, financial reporting previously, but this is a more advanced version over a couple of years now to enable me to really present to you, and you have a self-study manual that will help you to be able to pass the examination. Now, if you are really somebody preparing for the corporate reporting or the financial reporting examination, as I say always, there are key issues that you need to understand. There are key topics in the syllabus that you need to understand. And not only understanding the topics, but also knowing how the examiner is going to be setting the question and also how you should be able to answer the question. And that is exactly what we tried to do with the support of my executive assistant, Joycelyn, to be able to put together these books, Corporate Reporting Volume 1 and Volume 2, and also the Financial Reporting. Now, to really bring all these home for you, we covered everything that you need to understand in the entire syllabus. Now, in the Corporate Reporting Volume 1, what we did there was to look at all the accounting standards that you need to know about, and then evaluation of financial statements, or what we call ratio analysis. Then in the volume 2 of corporate reporting, what we did there was to bring in the other topics: consolidated financial statement, specialized transactions, that is business valuation, corporate restructuring, financial reorganization. You know, right? So those are the things that we brought in there in the volume 2 of the paper. And then certainly consolidated cash flow and some current development or current issues that you need to understand. Now, you see, the reason why I'm really excited about those books is because of the fact that the way we have structured the books. Now, my objective, my goal always when I release new content or when I write books is to assist students to be able to study the book on their own and really understand what they are studying, and also having their critical basic questions to help them to really understand what it is that they need to understand. Now, if you are a good student of financial reporting, or maybe you are now preparing for financial reporting, one of the key topics in financial reporting is going to be ethics. Corporate reporting is also ethics. There's always going to be some questions in the exam hall on ethics, between 5 to 10 marks, that you need to know about. And it is not just about understanding the fundamental code of ethics, like, for instance, understanding the 5 code of ethics, like integrity, professional competence and due care, objectivity, confidentiality, professional behavior. It's not just about understanding the fundamental code of ethics, as well as the threat, the self-review threat, self-interest threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, and intimidation threat. It's not just about understanding these things and trying to memorize them, but it's about knowing how to read the scenario that will be given to you in the exam hall, and also being able to answer the question. And that is exactly what we did about ethics in these two books. We went behind the scene to look at, okay, after understanding the fundamental code of ethics, the threats, how will the question be structured? Then, if the question is structured, how do you answer the question? What is the approach you go through in answering the question? And all that has been discussed here to enable you to understand one of the fundamental topics in corporate reporting and financial reporting, which is ethics. So, you're going to be getting that well covered for you to be able to understand. And there are a couple of questions that we covered in the books to enable you to really have a deep understanding on ethics, so that when you get to the exam hall and you read a scenario, you know exactly what you are looking for, you know how to answer the questions, and most importantly, you know how to structure your solutions in such a manner that you will score the highest mark as much as possible at the end of the day. Then also another basic topic that we need to understand in these two subjects is consolidated financial statement. Now, over the years, as a teacher myself of the subject, what I've found myself doing is that I haven't really seen a single book that was able to really cover everything that I needed to understand when it comes to consolidated financial statement. So you will see me jangling from one book to the other, trying to put the notes together at the end of the day. But it is something that I didn't want to continue again. So we decided to put my thoughts, my principles, my knowledge, my research, and everything into these two books. So, Consolidated Financial Statement, we covered everything that there is to be known when it comes to dealing with consolidated financial statement as per the syllabus structure. So if you are in financial reporting, we covered it's a simple group structure. So definitely the various things that we need to understand: the group structure, the net asset schedule preparation, calculation goodwill, dealing with impairments, non-controlling interest, group retained earnings, intra-group transactions, very, very important when there is disposal of assets, when there is sale of goods, when there is issue of loan notes, all of these things, how do we deal with it? Treatment of investment in associates, how do we deal with that? If there is an intra-group transaction between the associate and the parent and the associate, how do we deal with that? All of those things have been covered in detail, well structured with questions, pragmatic questions to enable you to understand the topic very well. In corporate reporting, as you know already, this is a complex group structure, so we took it a step further and discussed everything that there is to be discussed when it comes to dealing with complex group structure in the consolidated financial statements at the corporate reporting level. So it means that you're going to be seeing everything here that you need to understand about, like I mentioned, the group structure, intra-group trading, complex group structure. How do we deal with that? Very important. When there is a foreign subsidiary, how do we deal with that? Consolidated cash flow, how do we deal with that? These are very important aspects, and all of these have been well structured and covered pretty well with practice questions to enable you to understand what it is that you need to look out for. That is the second key thing that we need to understand. Then the third key topic in these two subjects is ratios, evaluation of financial statements. Definitely there is going to be ratio analysis that we need to understand when it comes to dealing with the exams. So how do we compute the various ratios? And then how do we interpret the various ratios? Very, very important. So in these books, you will see the guiding principles on how you are supposed to calculate the ratios, how you're supposed to interpret the ratios, and how they are knitted together at the end of the day in order to increase your chances of what? Passing the examination. So evaluation of financial statement, we really took our time to explain the various things that you need to understand. For instance, when there is leases of assets, there is lease obligation. There are times when the lease obligation will be included in the calculation of the gearing ratio or in the calculation of the return on capital employed. We took our time to discuss all of that, and with practice questions to enable you to be able to understand ratio. Because I say to my students all the time that if I know there is something that is going to be in the exam hall, I want to learn all about it and know all the various aspects about it to enable me to increase my chances of passing the examination. And there are various aspects of ratios that we need to understand. And in these books, we tried as much as possible to cover the various aspects of ratios. Now, for instance, there are some aspects of ratios where we are supposed to readjust the financial statement so that we can calculate the ratios after the readjustment. There are some ratios where we would have to look at acquisition and disposal of a part of the business, and we need to adjust the financial statement to reflect that acquisition or disposal in order to enhance comparison of the financial statements. That is also covered. And then there are some times when we don't have to do any calculation. The examiner will just compute the ratios and present it to us, and he will ask us to interpret the ratios. That is also covered. Then for those of you who are doing corporate reporting, I mean, you are the bosses, definitely at the end of the day. Interpretation of the cash flow statements, that is another crucial area that we need to understand, and we took our time to cover all of these as well in the syllabus to enable you, or in the book to enable you to actually pass the examination at the end of the day. So that is also something basic that has been covered thoroughly in the books to enable you to understand them, not only to pass the examination but also to apply them in practice at the end of the day. Then another key thing that we need to understand. So I've spoken about ethics, I've spoken about consolidated financial statements, then I've spoken about ratios. Then the fourth thing that is common in these two subjects is definitely the la creme de la creme, and that is the International Financial Reporting Standards, the IFRSs. And so we took our time to go through all of the IFRS that we need to understand with practice questions to enable you to understand the various aspects. Definitely the grandpapa of the standards, IAS 16, we looked at all the aspects for initial recognition, subsequent measurement, disclosure requirements. We discussed all that. Spend some time to look at inventory, IAS 8, IFRS 15, IFRS 16, all of the standards, you name it, we covered it. You name it, we covered it. And with practice questions to enable you to be able to understand and pass the exams at the end of the day. Then also in financial reporting, very important, is the single entity financial statement, because the examiner may ask us to prepare the cash flow statement, or the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, statement of changes in equity, or the statement of financial position. So in this book, also after covering all the standards, there are questions in there to enable you to prepare the final accounts. Now, you need to understand that when it comes to dealing with the final accounts, all the footnotes will be a standard, all other things being equal. Only some few ones that you would have to apply the conceptual framework, like for instance when there is issue of shares, and you are dealing with issue of shares, then definitely you have to apply the conceptual framework guideline to know what exactly you need to do at the end of the day. So we covered that with practice questions to enable you to have some high level of understanding in single entity financial statement. Very well. So that is the coverage basically of the financial reporting book, and it's really something that I believe that you need in order for you to really prepare for the examination and pass the exams. And like I say always, it's not just about passing the exams. I tell my students all the time, it's not just about passing the exams. That is why I adopt the approach that I use in my teaching, because it's not about, you have passed the exams, I'm looking for pass mark 50% and go away. It's about, do you understand what you have done? I've been in various engagements where you go to the company and you see there's the accountant, or this is the CFO, this is the person in charge of this. Then you realize that the person lacks basic knowledge in applying IFRSs, and it's because probably the person has not been attending CPD, continuous professional development, or the person is just lazy or didn't understand the standards, but chatted anyway, because I mean, we with some little work, you should be able to pass the exams. But it's about having a deeper understanding of how the standards are supposed to be treated generally at the end of the day. And that is what we took our time to really look out for in these books to enable you to pass the examination. So these books are now available. Delivery can be done nationwide. This is 120 Ghana cedis. That is the financial reporting book. With the corporate reporting, the volume 1 and volume 2 together, it's 135 Ghana cedis for you to be able to get access to these books. I will really, really encourage you to get these books, because like I said, if you have watched my videos on IFRSs, You've watched my videos on consolidated financial statements. You've watched my videos on ethics. You've watched my videos on dealing with issues about single entity, and we've watched my videos on ratios or evaluation of financial statement. You know that I really go deep, and the same way that I teach, the same way that I present my concepts, the same way that I structure my language out is the same thing that we try to replicate in the book, so that you literally be hearing my voice in your head as you read through this book, as you solve the questions in there, to enable you to position yourself strategically to pass the examination, and most importantly, become successful in your career. So that is it about that. You call 050-114-9296. Delivery can be done nationwide. Now, in case you are outside Ghana, you can get the book directly on Amazon as well. It will be shipped to you, to your location. Or if you're in the sub-Sahara region, then definitely we can check and see if delivery can be arranged for you to be able to get a copy of these books to help you in order for you to prepare well for the examination, and most importantly, pass the exams. Now, in the coming days, I'll be hosting a couple of sessions to discuss some thoughts with you as we prepare for the August 2022 examination, because like the way the exams is now being structured for the ICAG, there is a level of understanding that you need to have. There is a certain mindset that you need to develop, and there is a certain approach that you need to have at the end of the day. Like I say always, it's not about sitting down and whatever. Let's say 2 weeks to the exams, 1 week to the exams, and start being serious. No, there's a certain mindset, there's a certain way that you need to have in order to enable you to actually pass the examination. So in the coming days and weeks, I'll be hosting live sessions to discuss various things with you, definitely from financial reporting and corporate reporting and other subjects, to enable you to pass the examination, and most importantly, become successful. So head on to Amazon to get a copy of your book, or call us 050-114-9296, 050-114-9296, 050-114-9296. I'll really be excited to have you here, and really I will recommend also that especially if you are learning under my mentorship, enroll in corporate reporting or financial reporting on our website, definitely get the book. Okay, definitely get the book, because it's gonna really help you, so that as you go through my videos, as you get access to the entire full course, the material is also here to enable you to walk along with me pretty well, to help you to really understand what you are doing, and most importantly, pass the examination. So that is it about that. I'll be waiting for you. Delivery has begun already. Packaging has been done, and delivery has begun nationwide. And so you order your copy, and I'll really be excited to give you an autograph version, so that you can prepare well for the examination, and most importantly, become successful. Thank you, and make sure you stay connected as we continue with our preparation towards the ICA August 2022 examination.